What's up, y'all? This is Vinyl. I took some time off to kind of recuperate, spend some time with the family. There was a couple holidays that kind of came and went, but now I'm back, and I'm back with a pickups video. This video kind of took place throughout different days out of this week. Different items came at different times. I wasn't readily available to do it all in one shot, so if you see the lighting's a little bit different, if some of the camera angles are not the same, just know that it took me a while to kind of put this all together, but I'm back. I don't think I'm going to be releasing weekly videos like I did last week. I think that's a little bit too much to put on myself, too much pressure, and I don't want the quality of the videos to kind of degrade over time, as I can't really sustain that going forward. So I think I'm going to try to limit it to maybe 2 videos a month. Thank you to everybody that's been showing support while I've been gone. I was kind of down that we weren't able to reach 200 subscribers, but thanks to you guys and thanks to these videos kind of starting to get some more traction. Well, right now we're at like about 212 subscribers, so I thank each and one of you guys for subscribing, for showing support, for hanging in there, for showing some love, for sharing. Anything that you guys do to show some love to the channel, I really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's get into those pickups. We were waiting for a really special package to show up, so it did come in. So make sure to stay tuned until the end of the video to see that really special piece that I've been after for a long time. All right, hope you guys enjoy. All right, y'all, as you guys can see, we have a really huge package right here. Let's just do a quick unboxing. I normally do this outside of the camera, but I wanted to show you guys my initial reaction and to share this moment with me. So for a shipment like this, this is the first time that I used EMS. As you guys can see right there, EMS. It took me about 2 weeks to get this package, which kind of sucks because I was kind of used to DHL shipping speeds, which normally take about 2 days. But for a big package like this, it was only $50, which is kind of a steal compared to DHL. The last time that I shopped with them for a package about the same size, it was about $90. Market always does a great job of making sure that my packages are nicely secured. As you guys can see, there's plenty of bubble wrap that's going to keep everything nice and tidy. All right, so I already see the first piece that I wanted to show you guys. All right, and here it is, one of the first pieces that I got. I've been looking for a very specific variant when it comes to King Ghidorah minis. I hope I got the right one. I don't know, it looks very similar to the one that I already have. I think I might have gotten the same variant. The paint's supposed to be slightly more yellowish, and I'm a little disappointing in that, just because the variant that I was actually trying to find, I guess, did come up, and since I had already bought in this one, I passed up on the other one, and it was actually a pretty good deal. All right, so this, what I have here, is actually pretty special because it is a reissue. It's not an original. I wish it was. We'd be talking about a $10,000 toy if it was an original, but this is actually a custom piece. Yeah, look at it, guys. This is a Mecha Godzilla custom. They painted it in a way to reflect the original 1974-1975 Mecha Godzilla. Super interesting. We're gonna go in depth. I'll weigh them out. I'm gonna take them apart to show the inside of the vinyl, and hopefully I can get some measurements and weights of the original one, of the actual authentic piece, so we could do a separate video just focusing on that. There's really no reissue out there that's 100%. And I don't own a Mecha Godzilla. I only have the Mecha Godzilla 2, so definitely a cool one to the set. Last but not least, we have a recent reissue, and here it is. I should have got this when it first went out for pre-order, but I was lucky to find this for basically the same retail price. These are the kind of reissues that I really want to support, are the ones that look super similar to the original vintage one. As you guys can see in the box art, and I think it's true with the original box art, it does kind of have a Mecha Godzilla that's green, looks very similar to the original colorway of the 1974 standard size one. But they didn't release this one. They released it with gold paint and gold accents, yellow or gold accents. I think they knocked it out of the park with this guy. I thought it was going to be easy to take this guy out of the box, but honestly, he looks super badass. Look at that, guys. Look at how nice he looks inside the box. You know I'm going to have to take him out. So I'll do that off camera. For a figure that's like about 300 bucks, I think this is way worth it. This is really nice. Very reissue. If you don't have one, I strongly suggest you get one. I was gonna leave this part out, but I guess I'll show you guys how I struggled to get this dude out and set up. So I'll probably just speed through it. Let's get it going. Such a beautiful package. I want to make sure not to break anything or rip anything. I want to be able to put it back in the box if I ever need to. Let's see, what's first? I guess we get some instructions here on how to build them. That's super rad. Let's see, nice little tie wraps. You don't have to cut anything. Oh, it looks like the previous owner had probably taken them out and checked them out. This big guy. Alright, this tail came out really easily. We're gonna have to warm that up to get that placed into its arse. One arm here. I have to warm those up. I was trying to make sure to keep all the original baggies, little zip ties, whatever it originally came from. I think it's super important as a collector to keep all these kind of things. Of course, this is a reissue. You know, they're massively produced compared to what's available in the vintage world, but still, it doesn't hurt to take care of your stuff, right? So looking back, I forgot to do a smooth transition between shots, but up next I'm going to show you guys the full 360. Alright y'all, so this is the first thing that I got from my haul. As you can see, it's in great condition, but unfortunately it looks like after I asked some of my followers on Instagram about their opinion and other fellow collectors, they all concluded that it's actually the same variant that I already have. It's just in a different style of spray. The paint is very similar, maybe just the finish is different between the glossy and a more matte like the one that I have, but it's essentially the same one. I think it was Richard Cox on Instagram pointed out that the variant that I'm actually after is more of a lime green. It's similar to the brown one that I already own, so it's basically like the brown variant but in orange vinyl. But anyways, it's still a really cool piece. I'll do the 180. I actually already sold this off to my good friend Gerardo Guerra, as a lot of people know him online. So hopefully he enjoys it. I know he has quite a few kaijus in his collection, so I know he's going to really appreciate this one. So thanks, homie. After this video, I'm going to send this out to you. Hope you enjoy. Alright y'all, the next item that I got in this haul is this super awesome Mecha Godzilla. So this one is special because it's actually a custom. From what the seller pointed out, this is a custom painted to look like the original item. I'm glad that the seller, was fully transparent and not trying to scam anybody with, stating it was original. So he stated that it was a repaint. He did not say what specific mold or release, but I believe it's probably the 1992 Bandai. Just judging off the color of the vinyl, I believe that's the one that he used, but he did a really great job. I don't know if there was multiples that he made or if it was just a one-off job that he commissioned someone to do, or if he did it himself. But with whatever the case is, I still think it's really awesome. I was surprised that a lot of people bidded on it. I was hoping to win it for about maybe like 100 to 150. I did put a high bid, and unfortunately it did go all the way up to what I expected it to be, which was about $300. Was it a good purchase? I don't know. You guys tell me. An original would probably cost me between $7,000 if I'm lucky, to realistically maybe $10,000. So having a reissue that's painted in a way that resembles the original and it's done very well for $300, maybe it was worth it. But I really do like the figure, and I really love this mold, this sculpt. It doesn't really compare to the Mecha Godzilla 2 that came out with M1. I really love the original sculpt of the Mecha Godzilla. And let me just quickly show you guys how it looks according to the reference book, and you guys could kind of make your own mind up. So here's a reference book. It's pretty close, right? The color is pretty spot on, and you'll see it right now when I compare it to the reissue of the missile shooter. The green is pretty spot on. I noticed that the M1 Mecha Godzilla 2, the green is a little bit lighter, and it doesn't look exactly like this more marine green, greenish teal that we kind of come to know being part of the Mecha Godzilla. But all right, guys, I'll show you quickly a 180 of the figure. I will do a separate video taking him apart, showing you guys the differences between an original and a reissue or a custom, so you guys won't get got. Because yeah, you definitely don't want to be spending thousands of dollars on something that is not worth that much. But okay, without further ado, I'm just going to show you guys real quick a quick 180. All right, so the last item from my haul is actually this big boy right here. It's the missile firing Mecha Godzilla. This is in the large scale, and if you compare it to your standard size, you can see there's an obvious size difference right there. So yeah, this is a really cool reissue that got I think there was a pre-order last year about it, and honestly I wasn't sold at first with the images that got released, but as soon as I started seeing people with the original box with all the cool artwork that comes with it, and then seeing the figure itself, I had to get it, and I'm glad that I got it for under market. So without further ado, let me show you guys some of the cool features about this guy. All right, one of the main things that I really like is how chubby and big it is. Look at this huge big boy right here. I didn't notice that the middle part is actually not, it's two different molds. It's not just one. So it's really awesome. Once you warm them up, this vinyl conducts heat really well, and it's super super moldable, super easy to kind of take them apart. You have to apply its tail, like you guys saw when I was taking them apart. But yeah, it was super easy to assemble him. Some parts are kind of loose, like this guy right here comes off really easily. I can only imagine if the original was like that. That's probably why they were missing so many parts, like the ones that you find today. They're always missing the missiles, the hands. So it's really awesome to have this reissue. I really like that face. You guys can see it. Maybe do a side profile right there. Look at that. Look at how cool that face is. But yeah, I'm really happy. This is probably going to be my favorite reissue of the year. I normally try to stay away from reissues. When I first started collecting, that's all I was kind of after. But honestly, there's nothing like the original, and I'm going to take some time to show you guys that before we do a quick 180. Let me show you guys the original according to my reference book. As you guys can see right here, the original one actually didn't come in that green turquoise kind of finish. It came in a yellow and gold accent sprays on the chest, on the face, and the arms and the legs. I really want to own an original. I really fallen in love with these missile firing Godzillas. It all started when I had the opportunity to buy the medium-sized one, like here. Of course, it wasn't in the best condition, but it was for a really awesome price, and I actually passed up on it. I'm glad my buddy Jake was able to get it. At least it stayed with the homies, but it's definitely one that got me interested in all these missile firing Godzillas. And as we can see right here, This is actually the Mecha Godzilla 2, the original packaging for the reissue that I have, and it's very close to the reissue in terms of the packaging contents and the way it's kind of laid out, with some minor differences. Of course, if you ever find a box medium sized, look at how beautiful the box is as well. But yeah, I'm really interested in these guys. I'm really hoping that the package that I'm waiting for today to complete this haul, the second part of the haul, is going to ship in today, and I'm going to show you guys, if it does ship in today, what I got in store for you guys. So let me show you real quick, a quick 180. Alright y'all, so fortunately I got this package in before I edited the video, so I wanted to do a quick unboxing with you guys while I have it here. I didn't want to like fake it later on, so this is actually super rare. I'm glad I finally own one of these guys. It's actually a missile firing, medium size, I guess you could say, Mecha Godzilla. Let me try to get it out of the bag, hold on. Alright y'all, look, here it is. It was supposed to come with 3 missiles. I'm like, what the heck? Where are they? Okay, oh, for sure. I was like, what the? Come on, dude. Alright. It's kind of yellowed, but if you know, you know, these pieces are super rare, super hard to come by. So, I'll do a, full 180 and talk more about the figure later on. Just wanted to show you guys this quick unboxing. Let's go. Alright. Alright y'all, this is pretty late in the day, but I was just, as soon as you get a piece in, you want to, break it open like I did right now and examine it. And I noticed it was really dirty, but I wanted to share this moment with you guys. So as you can see, this is a pretty interesting mold. You have the whole little device down here. You can see kind of like, I know the lighting isn't the best, I'm working with my kitchen light. You can see the little device right there that would shoot out the missile. Unfortunately, it looks like it's not working. You can kind of see what it does right here. Saw that? Saw that action? Right, I mean, I guess it's something, right? I was trying to pull out the missile to replace it with the one that was missing the top, but the top came off, so I just, replaced the top, put it with the one that didn't have it, that wasn't connected. The main reason why I warmed it up was because I wanted to connect these little missiles right here without cracking them. A lot of these types of vinyl, if you do find them, they might have the little holders broken. So I definitely didn't want that to happen. But as soon as I started warming it up and taking it apart, I noticed it was super dirty. So I'm going to do a quick cleanup. I know y'all were like, just water and soap. But I like my method. You could do your method. I'm going to clean them up and put them together, but I just wanted to show you how interesting this mold is, because it's about the same size as a medium size Mecha Godzilla, like your generic, standard issue one. But this one has a removable tail, so it's a whole different mold just for the tail, whereas your regular Mecha Godzilla, this is all one piece and the legs are individual molds. No, this is different. So the legs and I guess the groin is one piece, the tail is separate, and of course you got your arms, which are very much similar to your regular Mecha Godzilla, your standard issue one. But the parts that yellow are these two parts right here, which is super weird. I think they're made of different material. I don't know really what it is. I'm not a scientist, I'm not an expert. The other parts over here are still nice and gray. I don't know why that is. An interesting fact, as soon as I started warming it up and moving it around, trying to get that missile out, this tiny little piece of vinyl that was originally here where the hole was made fell off. So I'm just going to throw it in there, keep it all together. All right, I'll show you guys how it looks after I clean it up. I'm making a mess, but you guys know my regular routine. I use a scrubbing bubble stick to penetrate deep into the vinyl. Of course, you can use soap and water, do your own method. I listen to you guys. I'm using a soft toothbrush. So nothing should happen here. Alright y'all, I kind of made a mess, but I just wanted to show you guys why it's so important to clean your vinyls when they obviously look dirty. Look at that. Look at that nasty amount of grime. This has probably been on display on somebody's house collecting dust for generations, and maybe they weren't the original owners, so it probably was in somebody else's house. I know a lot of the old heads don't like to clean any other Sofubis, but come on, dude. You want to make it look the best you can. You don't want that in your toy. So I'm gonna rinse them off and show you guys the final product. All right, y'all. This is the next morning, and I wanted to show you guys the final results of how it looks after I cleaned him up and gave him a good bath. As you saw, he was really filthy, but now he looks a lot better. So here, check him out. I did warm up the vinyl and connected these little missiles. Now that I look at them, I don't really have a reference to what the original missiles should be. I don't think these are the original ones because of how freaking long they are. And the one that got stuck inside looks to be a lot smaller. I don't think that would be able to fit into it the same. But I mean, to get two original Bullmark missiles that I could use for another tour down the line, and they do fit after you warm up the vinyl, why not, you know? And I think they belong to the large missile firing Mecha Godzilla. They have them in the ones that are used for the hand. As you guys could tell, there's some articulation on the arms, on the waist, sort of, and on the tail. Minimal articulation, but that's what you get with these type of toys. They're still super awesome. It's important to note that I took some of my wife's Sculpey clay and kind of, did a little rough tip of the missile just to make it look more, similar to the other ones. But I think it came out pretty good. The shape is still a little bit off, but I think it will display really nicely. If I could ever find the original missiles, I'll update you guys on how they look. Couldn't find any reference photos on my reference book. Hey y'all, so shout out to my buddy Metal Mark for putting me on. He shared this listing with the original packaging of these missile firing Mecha Godzilla minis. Apparently they came in this 4-piece set called the 4 Large Champions or something like that. Not 100% sure. There's not a lot of information online about this set. Even on Club Tokyo, they don't really reference it. But look at the art on it. It's really awesome. I don't know the other characters. Now, I'm not sure why they would put Godzilla instead of Mecha Godzilla. But I guess it was just to sell toys. Because as soon as you open it, I can only imagine the disappointment the kids would get when there wasn't a Godzilla inside that was shooting missiles, but instead of Mecha Godzilla. Still, I think it's super cool. I love the little holsters and all the different characters, especially the one that you kind of like tuck them in. That's super awesome. But as you can see, the original missiles are totally different than the ones that I have, so I'm definitely in the hunt. If anyone is watching and you happen to have extras or you come across these, please let me know. I do want to complete my Mecha Godzilla. Also, another thing that I noticed is that mine is actually broken when it comes to the little lever that releases the missile. Even though the mechanism still works, that little piece of plastic is broken. It's a shame. I should have probably done a little bit more research and probably not offered as much as I did. But any case, the last one that sold on Yahoo Japan sold for almost $1,200, and given that this one sat on auction at about $2,000, $2,000 something, is crazy. But as you guys can see, there are 2 variants to this. They're both very rare, so I won't say the more common one is the black and gray one, but the green one is kind of the rare one out of the 2. Recently one came up for auction, and I really hate myself for not trying harder to win it. I was looking at different items at that time, and it did end for about $700, but they normally range up to $1,000, so I thought it was a pretty good deal. This guy right here was originally listed for $900 on eBay. I messaged the seller, found him on Facebook, and we were able to come down to a reasonable price. I paid, I think, under retail, I paid about $600 for something like this, of course on credit, because you know how times are. Hopefully I can make my money back selling other stuff. When it comes to something this rare, you have to kind of pull the trigger, especially that the mechanism in the back isn't totally broken. It's still intact, just not working. When it came to the green mecha, the mechanism was broken and a piece was missing. So I think it's a pretty nice find. It looks really awesome in my collection. I'm gonna do a quick 180. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. This is one of those pieces that when I first started collecting, I didn't realize how rare they were. All right, before we do the 180, I thought it would be a good idea to compare them to your standard medium-sized Bullmark that we have over here on your guys' right, and on the left is the missile firing Mecha Godzilla. As you guys could see, the standard Mecha Godzilla medium-sized one, the medium-sized Mecha Godzilla is definitely larger. It's bulkier, it's a thicker type of sculpt compared to this one, but it's not necessarily in the mini range for your typical vinyls. But I would say that when it comes to missile firing Mecha Godzillas, the range is totally different. This is considered a mini. Then you have your medium size and your large size. Let me show you guys real quick. I have the reference book. So this guy would be your large, about 10 inches tall. And then you got your medium, around 8 to 8.5 inches tall. And then you have your mini. It's important to note that these medium-sized Mecha Godzillas are super inexpensive. I found this guy for $100 on eBay. You can find them all day under $200 on Yahoo Auction, whereas these guys rarely ever pop up. You'll be lucky to find anything under $700. The last one that recently sold at the beginning of the month, or last month, it sold for over $1K. I think it was $1,200 that it sold for. No missiles, no extra accessories. The only thing that was cool about it was that the mechanism was not broken like the one that I have here. So I think I got a really good deal. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. We're gonna do the 180 now. All right, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. It was a little bit extended. I did try to edit it in a way where it could be, reasonable. But especially with these type of videos, I do want to go into detail about the items. I do want to show you guys those extra processes that I do when I get vinyls, like my reaction, the cleaning process, and kind of everything that kind of goes behind the scenes that I normally don't show you guys. I hope you guys enjoy that kind of content. And if you do, make sure to comment down below what kind of content you want to see in the future. What was your favorite part about this video? Did you learn anything new? Definitely just make sure to go down to the comments section and give me some feedback. Share with me all your thoughts. I really appreciate everybody that's been tuning in, staying locked in. We'll try to do another video next week. I think what I'm going to do to kind of keep this Mecha Godzilla theme going is I'm going to show you guys a complete video of my collection. So make sure to stay tuned. There's more to come to this channel. Thanks again, and this is Vinyl.